All right, welcome back to Building an Asteroid Station. So as you can see here, we've been busy. But of course, let's cue in the time lapse first. All right, so from the inside, this looks pretty decent with all these windows. I probably could have done some 3x3 windows instead of 1x1 windows. With the gridding, it kind of looks pretty cool with it. So just kind of keep it like that for now. And it's going to be all different sections in each side of the asteroid. So in the inside, this is what it looks like so far, which looks pretty insane. And I did pipe in a whole new gravity collector here, a little pointless, but needed to put that there for now. And extends all the way to here, which is basically going to be our hydrogen or fuel tanks system, which may or may not be a good idea, but did it anyways. We did a little bit of cleanup. We got rid of some of the cargo ships that I'm pretty sure I am going to recapture later down the line, but they were in the way, so I just removed them with the build and repair. But I've been thinking with the clanginess and everything like that, I may take this thing to a creative build instead, because it doesn't necessarily need to be part of this asteroid station anymore. Just a thought, maybe. We'll see. But the outside of the asteroid station, at least on this end of it, where we used to be called this the front because the home was right there, we did separate layers of glass, of rounded glass. Maybe adding different floors to it eventually, potentially. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that exactly yet, but wanted to add like a layer in terms of this. And it's more or less just for the corner of the asteroid for now. And that's where the gravity collector was before, but now put a new kind of design here. And it does catch most of the ore. Most, not all. And the rest becomes build and repairs food, basically. But the main part of this was building out this. The design of our fuel tanks. Our modular fuel tanks system, or whatever you want to call it. I kind of want to put the hydrogen tanks on the outside, so then we can always exchange them to refuel the whole station quickly and more efficiently. But it does cause for a big old explosion on the outside, which isn't too bad. It's better than blowing up in the inside. With the outside, we could kind of fix up, no problem. But I got to do some kind of system where there will be probably rotors, hinges, pistons to pull these things out to get into a new ship, a fueling ship. Because this tank here, at least the rounded ones, doesn't have a connector here. It looks really odd by adding one there, so I forgoed it. This one has a connector because it's attached to 2 large hydrogen tanks and a ton of smaller ones. I think 8 smaller ones, the newer ones. And that made it look really, really cool. But this one can be detached by putting connector here and unconnect the one connector here. And then I did all this weird kind of diagonal pieces in here with a little bit of window just to make it look a little bit odd as well, just to change it up a bit. There's certain spots where I don't know what matches in terms of blocks, like this. I don't think there's a block here that actually fits this well. So I might have to do something like that instead, which is not the greatest, obviously. But it's going to have to work like that for now. Not looking its best yet, but hopefully it will turn out okay. We definitely need to work on the top here to make it look like it's assimilating the asteroid a little bit better. But we're getting there. Definitely getting there. So the actual collection of stone and iron right now is based on those things here. The rings of gravity collectors and things like that in this section here, which we talked about previously. So we got a whole bunch, I think 7 total to that asteroid all the way back here, which I think the whole drilling system kind of halted. So let's go double check on that. Okay, so a little bit loud here, but this system, drilling system, not the perfect thing. I put it to be 0.0001, and it still breaks this conveyor junction once in a while, and it just causes this whole thing to pause. So this is supposed to shoot out back here into those gravity collectors. Something's still broken. It's the head of the advanced rotor that got destroyed. There we go. So we probably lost a lot of stone, but yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I mean, like I said, velocity is at 0.0001. Should be more than slow enough to push that forward without braking, but I think the sides are getting caught, maybe. That could be the problem. So let's just do slower rotation. Maybe 4 is better. So that was mine, as much stone as possible. And that's why you saw in the time lapse, you saw a bunch of things just shooting into the glass and into that collection pan. So with this whole collection of stone and things like that, I think I need to kind of fix up this one right over here. That one needs to move a little bit and direct it kind of in this direction. But for now, it's still okay. I mean, I could put a ship there to direct it into it, which may or may not break a ship. It have broken a few smaller ships. And as you can see right there, it's getting ready to shoot a whole bunch at the station now, which can be a bit deadly standing here. You don't know if it's going to hit me or not, but it does a pretty decent job at reaching it. But then also that happens. It gets sucked back in. Oh, you know what? I turned it off. I completely forgot that I turned off the spherical gravity generator that's back on base. So that's what happened. But it should be able to get some back here anyways. I could also do my override as well. So we trigger the signal to override that, and it's shooting out the shotgun of ore right over there. And you'll see it pelting the windows and collectings and everything like that. So it's not that bad as you see there. Well, that was terrible. But that's where build and repair comes in handy. And it'll just suck up everything there. I mean, some of it makes it, some of it don't. But probably could have used it a little bit further out, but I didn't want to make it too out. And eventually, I'm probably just going to remove this anyways. I just got to move that. I could probably use a ship and shift it over a little bit to get that collection a little bit better. But it's not terrible because we have build and repair to kind of collect everything. But yeah, everything is a little bit on the side. Right in that corner. That's the sweet spot, it looks like. And still, this rotating solar array thing here is really getting Klang's attention. So hopefully it doesn't destroy us anytime soon. But it looks like Klang's been roaming around. As you saw in the time lapse, things are just moving in odd ways. So hopefully it doesn't come soon. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this time lapse. If you did, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to drop a comment down below. Say hi. And of course, see you guys next time. Bye.